first one closer. Okay, so now we're going to do the eyebrows. I've already prepped the area. Okay, so I'm just going to do it all by sight. The markings, you've already learnt them, you know how to do them. But as Ali's taught you, I like to just go across the top. See, your highest point is where your arch should be. Okay? Right, so when you're applying the wax, dip your spatula in. You want it all on one side. Okay? It's much easier to manage when it's all on one side of the spatula. So stretch the skin and we're going to apply the wax underneath. Just gently pressing. Okay, that's your first patch. Same on the other side. You're taught with hot wax to always apply against the direction of growth, but with eyebrows that's quite hard because you can actually end up with hairs in the wax that you don't want in there if you're scraping against it. So that's why the prepping is really important with eyebrows, because you really need to pull all those hairs up, make sure they're clean and dry and not stuck to the skin at all. So these are my first patches, 1, 2, and then the middle. And if you've prepped properly, yeah, you don't really need to go against the direction of growth. But you want to work that wax in all the same. Okay, so now we can remove. Remember, one flick, the skin always needs to be stretched when you're applying it, when you're removing it. Always, okay, and pressure. Same on this side. Two more patches underneath, one on each side. Olivia's got nice, easy eyebrows to do. She's really got them in a nice shape, so we're really just doing a tidy up. If the client likes their eyebrows, there's no reason to be changing the shape, unless you think that you can recommend a better shape for your client. So you want to keep it quite natural. You don't want to go up in here, like along and then up. A lot of people do start to create their arch here. This should be your highest point up here. So have these coming up on a diagonal, a nice straight line. Move. And I'm also going to do it along the top. When you do it along the top, just make sure these little hairs are out of the way and down. Quite a few years ago people would say never wax the top of your eyebrows, but it does give a really nice line to some people. Some people don't need it, but because the eyebrow hairs naturally grow down, if you take the wrong hair out, you're going to leave a gap, so you've got to be really careful. And you just, again, get wax on one side of the spatula and just really gently just apply it along the top. And all you're really doing is taking out those little hairs, those little fluffy hairs that they are part of the eyebrow, but they're kind of not. They just make the line look a bit messier. So, and just let it fall off the spatula. Just make sure you get all those little stringy bits out of the way. So if you got your spatula there and had wax on both sides of it, when you're applying that, the wax on the top will run off, okay? So that's why it's really important just to have it on the underside and apply it all the way along. Okay, remove, pressure. Sometimes it is a little bit stingy, that one, even though it doesn't look like there's much hair there. And flick and, oh, sorry, remove. And don't forget the pressure. Okay, then I'm going to get my cotton pad that's already got the aftercare oil in it. You can also use aloe vera here if you like. If your client has really sensitive skin, I would use aloe vera. Okay, so aftercare oil, I can see a few little hairs. Now that you've created the shape with the wax, you can come in and stretch and just remove any little stray hairs. You don't need to keep going over and over. Just make sure there's a nice line. So yeah, when you're first learning, you can keep the wax quite a bit away from the eyebrow and come in with your tweezers and create your line afterwards, but the more confident you get, the closer you can go. And also if you're doing tinting, you can apply the tint without the Vaseline and just get a cotton bud, create the actual perfect shape, and then that tint on the eyebrow creates a barrier. So you can be a bit more confident knowing that even if you do get wax in an area you don't want it, the tint will generally stop it sticking to the hairs. Okay, I'm just taking out any little stray hairs. And done.